I guess I should put myself out there. Hello, hello, hello. We are currently watching a live courtroom feed of, of the courtroom getting ready for the Jaylin Brazier trial. Day 6 morning. They get off to a late start today, rather. Everyone's just sort of shuffling in. In the meantime, we had some smexy messages going on that I thought we could take a look at again, since I wasn't there for most of it yesterday. And the feed is down, so we're going to use
substantially similar to that.
this feed.
Instead of that report that you have that's been marked as proposed exhibit 69.
Yes.
With that, I moved to admit proposed exhibit 69. Okay.
69. Ooh, exhibit 69 was all the
may
smexy
I,
texting.
publish
How
one?
convenient is that? Hi,
I'm gonna
Salvador.
ask you
I see you
about
down
a
there.
handful of the communications in here.
I didn't hear these, so I'm going to speed this up so I can maybe hear.
I
all of
always thought it was kind of difficult.
Yeah, just looking at the first page, what does this sort of tell us about the participants to these messages?
And so those first couple lines there just list the participants. The top is the phone number and the contact name, Davo, and then right below that you see the Rochelle Zion email account and Zion Foster, and then it says right next to that the owner. So the owner of this particular account is Zion Foster.
And what does it tell us about how many messages there are in total?
In just this conversation, there are 4,225 messages.
And what would be the starting date of the messages if you look at this first message?
That is November 2nd, 2020 at 9:38 a.m.
Okay, and if we go down to the final page, and hopefully you'll be able to see it on the screen, so you don't have to open the binder all the way up. What would be the date and time of the final message?
December 31st, 2021 at 5:44 p.m.
Okay, and if we are just to orient ourselves, what does the green signify? The message is in green. Is there anything we can draw from that?
The green indicates an outgoing, and then blue is an incoming. So if it is green, it came from the account belonging to Zion Foster.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to turn to page 18 of the messages.
Just easier to look at the green.
Sure, yeah. Can you look at this middle message in green? What's the date and time of that message?
That's November 9th, 2020 at 11:48 a.m.
And what's the content of the message say?
Can you take me to work, TD?
And is this an incoming or outgoing message?
This is an outgoing.
Okay, and then if we scroll down, what's the response?
The response is the incoming in blue. The response reads, where is that?
Okay, and then if we go down to the next page, what's the next message in blue?
That is, do you want me to read the,
Yeah, read
those are the date and time.
read the substance of the message.
Where the hell is your mama, bro?
And what is the I guess the date and time of that?
November 9th, 2020 at 11:50 a.m.
And if we go down further to the next page, do you see this message in blue? What does that read?
What's your address?
And what's the response?
22166 Melrose Court, East Point, Michigan 48021.
And what's the date and time of that?
Hey, Gabby, how you doing?
November 9th, 2020 at 11:52 a.m.
Great to see you here.
Okay. I want to
50.
skip ahead to page 89 and 90. Sorry, one second. If you look at 89, what's the top message in blue? Say.
As in,
Good morning, T. Underwood. We are just reviewing the smexy text from last night, and as we get ready for the trial today, everyone's just sort of shuffling in. But I didn't get a chance to listen to these, and we're watching the stream from last night with Salvador hanging out.
as in, what is the plan? Is somebody bringing you a fucking plan B?
And what's the next message say?
You're running out of time.
And what are the dates of these messages?
December 19th, 2020.
And
Morning, Lefty.
I'm just going to continue to scroll down a little bit.
Smexy sexting time between cousins, kids.
So
and cousins.
this green message in the middle of page 93, what's that say?
OMG, guess what?
And what's the date of this
OMG.
message?
December 28th, 2020.
And what's the response?
What happened?
And what's the follow-up message after that?
I hope you're okay.
And what's the then outgoing response?
Yes is the top one.
And the bottom one?
And then it came today.
And if we go down to page 96, what's the top message say?
I'm talking AB, my period.
And is that the same date as the prior messages?
Yes, December 28th.
Yeah, they're cousins, but apparently only by marriage. So it makes it okay.
I want to go down to page 117. Sorry, yeah, 117. What's this blue message at the bottom read?
LMK, if you don't have shit to do later, I'll bring some more read.
And what was the date of that message?
January 1st,
Hey, Linda.
2021.
How you doing, hon?
Salvador calls everyone hun.
Yeah.
I want to scroll down to
How you doing, Luna?
page 265.
Calls everyone
That's
hun.
great.
I gotta share it out on Twitters.
So actually starting on 264, this green message, I know the image is kind of small here, but were you able to view that image more close up?
I was.
And what is that image?
That is, appears to be a woman's vagina with several markers stuck inside.
And that's an outgoing message?
It was.
And what is the date? Of that message?
February 4th, 2021.
And what is the
Can we zoom in on that one?
Wait.
Here's-
Okay, whoa. Crap.
to that?
Okay, I'm gonna skip forward because it kind of showed it there.
And what was the response received?
Okay,
to that?
Bro, I'm not even going to open that shit.
And what was the follow-up message?
Thank you,
there?
Distant.
Those are 2 more images.
Okay, and those were incoming messages to the phone?
Yes,
And have those been redacted?
they have been.
It was a very tiny, like, screenshot or icon, but it was still there. It wasn't blurred or anything.
And what's the follow-up message starting at the top of page 266?
Now we're both scared.
David and my channel's heated.
And then the next message.
That reads, I hate you.
Yeah, it's literally.
And that is a laugh at I hate you. So you can tag a message with an emotion. And in this case, laugh.
Okay, and again, what's the date on that?
February 5th, 2021.
Then move to 320, page 322. What's the message at the top of page 322 say?
I'm about to be big single.
And what's the date of that message?
March 27th, 2021.
And what's the response?
Why?
And what's the next message read?
Hey, Sam.
Bitches whores.
And what are the
I like how you
The
respond
first response reads shitty.
in real
The second
time
response
from
reads
yesterday.
OMW home.
And then it appears there's a response where what does sort of this mean when you see this type of message?
I think there was a response, some type of an attachment. Could be at the very end. You see where it says .jpeg, so photo attachment.
But was it able to be retrieved in the extraction?
No.
And then if we keep going, we're on page 324 now. It appears there's some file changes. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are we on the same date as before?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the top message say here on top page 325?
How long are you going to be up?
And what's the response?
A while.
And then what's the next message indicate?
All right, I'm making this bitch want to kill herself.
And then what's the response to that?
You awful.
And what's the follow up to that?
I'm gonna get to slanging my meat at my freak bitches again.
Again, we on the same page.
Yes.
And what's the next message after that?
Honestly, I'm about to hurt AFRN. I'm gonna need some head or something.
And again, what's the date of that one?
March 27th, 2021.
He's so hard up, he's gonna need some head or something. That's what he texts his cousin.
If we scroll down, what's the message in the middle of page 227 say?
I'll save you the weed I sent.
Well, I guess there shouldn't be any secrets kept from family.
If we go to page 329, what's the blue message at the bottom say?
This little freak about to gobble me.
What's the date of that?
March 28th, 2021.
And what's the response to that?
It reads horror behavior.
In the follow up?
I love it.
If we start at the top of 331, what's the message say at that point?
You already know.
And the next message?
What time are you gonna be free?
Okay,
Of course, I'm the one that has to
messages?
deal with
These are
that.
March 28th, 2021.
Couple.
You scroll down to 235.
Oh, this is amazing.
What's the top message read on the top of page 335?
Your mom not
Yeah.
about to be mad at me bringing you drugs. With
Yeah, I think they're like
And what's the date of that message?
step cousins or something.
that is also March 28th, 2021.
And what's the response?
She's not here.
In the follow up?
Oh, all right. I'll roll when I get there. Then
I want to scroll down to page 374.
It was all fun and games until someone had
Just
to be dumped
happens.
in a dumpster.
So
I was really trying to rebrand to get away from Mark Kempen content.
372 toward the middle. What's the middle message in green say?
that says he said he don't want none to do with him.
And what's the date on that?
April 12th, 2021.
And then it appears later on there's kind of a correction. Is that
Yes.
indicated? So me is kind of asterisk.
Yeah, usually from my experience, when you see the a word and a bunch of asterisks with it that is because there was a typo or spelling error in the previous text. And that's the corrected word.
And so what's the next message say after that?
He don't want none to do with me.
Okay. And then what's the follow-up message say?
Like
And what's the
There's like typos and spelling errors in all of this. He don't want none do with me. Yes, your problem, and obviously that's just what it is. Girl, fuck that. You're beautiful and smart as fuck. Dude, you got read these? Oh my god.
what's the response?
girl, fuck that. You're beautiful and smart as fuck. Yes, you're a problem, and obviously that's just what it is. RN
And what's the date of that message?
is April 12th, 2021.
I want to scroll down to page 432.
Like, yeah, you're pretty and all.
What's the message in the middle of 432 say?
Like, yeah, you're pretty and all.
And what's the date of that message?
April 20th.
But these ends be on your nuts. What?
3rd, 2021.
And what's the sort of edited version of the next message?
Say it, say it, say it, say it.
I edited,
Without the N word.
Say it. Ah!
but these be on your nuts.
And what's the end of that message?
You're scrolling too fast. April 23rd, 2021.
Prosecutor's like, no, do not say it. No, do not say it.
And
A pimp named Zion out here trying.
Please, for the love of God.
what's the response to that?
That is IDK. They like
Mark Richards would have just said it himself.
that I'm mean.
And what's the next message after that?
A pimp named Zion out here, FR.
Again, is that the same date?
It is.
It was inward on your nuts, except there was the word.
I move to page 546.
I know.
Is the jury in there?
Yep.
Everybody's here?
What's going
Jury
on?
number 10 still not here.
This is current live. Hang on.
Another juror actually came in with.
This hot message on
Wait, Drew came in with what?
546A.
Bro, I'm gonna kick my BM out my MF house.
And what's the date of that message?
May 3rd, 2021.
And what's the follow-up message say?
This bitch swear everybody want to fuck me, or I'm just giving dick out.
And what's the follow-up message after that?
Like I can't if I want to.
That's
And what is the response to that?
The top line is, but they do, and the next is, and you are.
Okay, but to honestly take a look at this, is it just like two friends talking, or is he really trying to get with that?
And what's the next message say?
That reads, that's not the point.
And how about the next message?
It be who she thinking I'm fucking want to fuck on me.
What?
And the next one?
Wait, hang on. How does that make sense?
And what's the next message say?
That reads, that's not the point.
It be who she be thinking I'm fucking wanna fuck on me. What the hell does that mean?
And how about the next message?
It be who she thinking I'm fucking want to fuck on me.
And the next message?
Like, are you crazy like that? FR question marks.
God, spice it up, woman.
And
I need to try to get the self-right report.
I want to go down or up to page 551. What's that top message say?
That says, and bro, I'm about to tell you something that's gonna blow your mind. Because how out of fucking pocket it is.
And what is the date and time of that message?
That is May 3rd, 2021 at 11:30 p.m.
And what's the
When you hear the judge talking, that's live in the courtroom right now, but nothing's going on.
response?
WTF she do.
And what's the next message say?
Tell me why, while talking to my BM, I found out that her, my mom, and Nylema think we be, been, and or were or will do some shit. Like this, and the N-word done had a full-on conversations about it apparently. All because you're pretty and we talk often and aren't related. Like, bruh, need fucking therapy because why MFS making these movies up in their heads.
What's the date of that message?
May 3rd, 2021.
And the follow-up?
Like Zion.
And the next message?
What the fuck?
And the next message?
Fuck with AQ.
And what's the response? What's the extent it's visible?
Reads, I did not like that.
And the response after that?
FAUQ.
And the response after that?
I did not like that.
And what is the next message?
Like throw the whole family away.
And the next message.
And my BM has some kind of oddball ass jealousy thing with you, like bitch, why?
And the next message.
My girl doesn't even think no shit like that.
And these all on the same date, May 3rd.
They are.
My girl
Yes, they are.
doesn't even think no shit like that.
Recording in progress.
Oh, court's going. Court is going. All right, we're going to go live to the courtroom.
Calling case number 23-3818-01-FC, People State of Michigan versus Jaylin Brazier. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Elsey for the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Brian Brown on behalf of Mr. Jaylin Brazier. Mr. Brazier, please take the Good morning, Jaylin Brazier.
All right, morning, Mr. Brazier, Mr. Brown, and Ms. Johnson, ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Strong.
Might have to pull the screen down if the jury's. Yep. I don't want to show the jury. They parade them right past the cameras. Don't want to show the jury. Yes. English is hard. As hard up as Jaylin was. All right. Jury is making their way in. All right. Here we go.
At this time, people recall Detective Sarah Markle.
I'm hoping, like last time, when they pulled the exhibits straight up on the screen, we'll be able to see it all nice and clear. If that's a good thing. No, this is local affiliates that showed the jury several times.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Understand you've been previously sworn and you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, Detective. And yesterday we talked about a number of different phone extractions, correct?
Correct.
And before you testify at a trial like this one, when you're presented with a particular report from extraction to authenticate, is there anything that you do to confirm that report's accuracy?
I do.
And what is it that you do?
So in preparation for court, I will receive the selected items of interest that are going to be presented at court, regardless of which party submits them. I receive those well in advance so that I have an opportunity to I have the entire phone extraction report that I did, and then I can confirm the selected pages, confirm that those are in each phone extraction as we are planning to present them in court. So I have all of this material where I can do the review, make sure that these pages in fact come from this phone as part of the review and preparation process.
Okay, and did you follow that process in this case?
I did.
And so for the exhibits that we discussed yesterday and the proposed exhibits that we're going to discuss today, did you confirm that those came from the phones that they're purporting to come from and they're not just some random document?
I did. And I do that on all of the phones just to make sure that things don't get mixed up, or, you know, if a page from a different phone is put in with stuff from this phone. I just like to verify and make sure that I am able to testify accurately and that I have been able to review this to confirm it prior to coming to court.
And yesterday, I believe we left off discussing a particular phone that's admitted into evidence as Exhibit 60. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
And again, what's the evidence number associated with that particular phone?
This is on tag number 90.
It's because
what's
I'm
the,
using Zoom feed, which is I'm able to do here in my studio.
Phone belonging to Jaylin Brazier.
And did you perform a forensic extraction of that phone?
I did.
And I'm holding what's been marked as proposed Exhibit 70. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Is proposed Exhibit 70 just a preliminary device information report from that specific phone?
Yes, it is.
And again, if you were to go into the overall report for that phone today and generate a device information report, would you get a document that looks substantially similar to that document that you're holding in your hand that's marked as proposed exhibit 70?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd move to admit proposed exhibit 70.
It was admitted yesterday.
And I'm sorry, I couldn't remember whether we got that far.
I have it on my list. It's
Okay.
being admitted yesterday.
All right, terrific. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Okay, so, and again, if we look at, exhibit 70, just to make sure that we, and I think we may have covered this yesterday now that I think about it. The phone number associated with this particular device, what would that phone number be?
313-516-7046.
Okay, and then I'm also holding a document that's already been admitted as exhibit 71. May I approach, Your Honor? That particular document, is that a set of messages that came from this specific device?
It is.
And is that like a, let's gonna publish this really quick, 1 second. If we go to that document, is it fair to say that document skips some pages? So if we look at the first page, it's number 1, and the second page is number 8.
Correct.
And then the third page goes all the way to 103.
Yes.
And so this is just sort of a subset of the messages with a specific number on that phone?
Yes.
Okay, and again, just to be clear, if we go all the way down to the page that's labeled as 224, that includes this message that's highlighted in blue with a specific URL in there.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you also had an opportunity to review the sort of full set of messages with the specific phone number at issue here?
I have.
And is that phone number the number that's
Oh, it's
reflected
muted.
here at
Damn
the
it.
top of page 1 on exhibit 71?
Yes.
Okay.
The phone number ending in 6615.
And so just to be clear, with these messages then would be messages between the device that you extracted and that external number ending
Correct.
6615.
Correct.
Okay. Now I'm holding what's been marked as proposed exhibit 71A. Is it your understanding that this disk just contains the full set of messages with that specific number?
Yes,
So it would include the pages that were trimmed out of exhibit 71?
it would. Yes.
Okay. And is it also your understanding that the content on this disk has been redacted for some sexually explicit images?
Yes.
And again, other than those redactions, if you were to go into this phone extraction and run this report for messages with that number ending 6615 today, would you get a report that looks like what's on exhibit 71A?
Yes.
Okay. And I'd move to admit exhibit 71A, Your Honor.
All right, submitted.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions about that particular report, but I'm also holding what's been marked as exhibit 61. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Taking a look at exhibit 61, what's the evidence tag again associated with that particular phone?
This is on tag number 89.
And what's the evidence description of that phone?
A black Apple iPhone in a green and black case belonging to Jaylin Brazier.
Okay, and along with the last phone that we talked about, is this another phone that you performed an extraction of last summer?
Yes.
Okay, and I want to ask you about a couple of documents from that particular report. First, I'm holding what's been marked as proposed exhibit 72. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Would proposed exhibit 72 be just, again, the device information report for this particular phone that's been admitted into evidence as exhibit 61?
Yes, it is.
And again, if you were to go into the full report for that phone again today and generate just that preliminary report, would it look something like the document that you're holding in your hand?
Yes.
And with that, I move to admit proposed exhibit 72, Your Honor.
No. Good.
And if we pull this up, exhibit 72, again, just looking at that sort of basic device information, we get, is there an Apple ID that's listed here?
Yes, there is.
And what's that ID?
Abba Misho 24 at
Abba Misho,
gmail.com.
that sounds about right.
Okay, and then if we have you had an opportunity to look at some of the other content?
It's not a
on
very
that particular
coherent
phone?
direct
Yes.
examination.
And if we, I want to start with proposed exhibit 74. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
What's proposed exhibit 74?
This is from the data files section. This particular page lists 2 videos. And on the list of 2 videos, it just provides the name of the video, some of the metadata or embedded information about the video, and then just a little screenshot or snippet from the video to like the first frame of the video.
And when it comes to a video, what do you mean by metadata?
The metadata is information from within that video. So if you were to take a picture with your phone, it would include like the date and time that that picture was taken. For the video, it will include, if you are the one taking the video, the information about when you took that video. If it's a download, when it was downloaded. So when it appears on your device.
Okay, and for the 2 videos reflected in that particular report of proposed exhibit 74, again, if you were to go into the overall extraction for the phone today and try to generate a report about the available metadata for those 2 videos, would you get something that looks substantially similar to proposed exhibit 74?
Yes.
And is it fair to say, though, that the images have some redactions in there?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Hey, Fubar, welcome.
And I'm also holding what's been
We're hoping to
marked
get some more
as,
smexy
proposed
texting
exhibit
from today's
86.
testimony.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
And again, what would proposed exhibit 86 be?
This is a page also from the data files in this document. It's from the documents section. There are 2 items. Both of them are PDF documents.
Okay, and do those PDF files have a name?
On here, they are untitled 12 PDF and untitled 13 PDF.
And again, does that report just show the available metadata for those 2 particular PDF files?
Yes.
And again, if you were to go into
All
the
this
overall
technical,
extraction
boring
for the phone
stuff.
today
We need
and
to get
try
through it to
generate
get to the good
report
stuff.
Of the available metadata for those 2 PDF files, would you get something that looks substantially similar to proposed exhibit 86?
Yes.
Okay. And then did you also have an opportunity to look at the available web browsing data on this particular phone that we've been talking about?
Yes.
And I'm holding what's been marked as proposed exhibit 73. Is it your understanding that this disc contains a sort of full report of all the available browsing data that was available on that phone?
Yes, that's correct.
And similar to what we looked at yesterday for one of the other phones, does that just kind of show the names of the pages that were visited and the times of visits and things like that?
Yes,
And is it your understanding that what's on proposed exhibit 73 also contains a report that's filtered for the search term cousin that would limit basically just browsing data to the extent that that data includes the term cousin?
yes.
They call each other cousin.
And
Why
again,
are
if
you
you were to
switching
go
that way?
into the overall report and generate those two reports again, would you get something substantially similar to what's on proposed exhibit 73?
Yes, it would.
I'm going to, with that, move for the admission of proposed exhibits 73, 74, and 86.
Brown, any objection?
No objection. Thank God. Let's
Thank
move
you,
on.
And I will,
Let's get into the
I'll
substance of
reserve
this.
publication at this time, and I don't have any other questions.
Everything you heard was foundation. You need to establish
Cross-examination.
that the exhibit is what you're purporting it to be. Now we can move on to exactly what the exhibit says.
Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning.
Oh, maybe not. They already admitted it. Now they were authenticating it oppositely. That's weird.
Now, you indicated that you do a number of extractions on phones.
Yes,
Okay. In this particular case, did you do more than one extraction on phones that you believe to be attributable to Mr. Brazier?
yes,
And do you compare the different data that's extracted from each, I guess, extraction from the previous one to see if there is new information that may be garnered on a subsequent extraction?
are you referring to like a line to line?
Yes, you compare. So if you do an extraction the first time and then you do another extraction sometime later in the future, do you compare the different extractions to see whether or not it's substantially the same information or new information?
No, I don't do a detailed line for line comparison with a new extraction.
Is there a particular reason why you don't? Just curiosity.
Not really. We would have presumably already reviewed the other one or the first one. And there is a brief way to do kind of a comparison looking at the index, but to do like a line for line extraction, unless there was some major difference, then no, there wouldn't be.
Okay. Do you still have a copy of exhibit number? It is 69.
No.
And that is, from your understanding, that is a copy of the totality of the text from Ms. Foster's phone with the contact Fable, correct?
Correct.
If you could go to page 80. And if you could read the texts that are illustrated on that page.
Do you only want me to read the body of the text or?
Oh, if you could
include
read,
other information?
if you could read who it's from and the body of the text.
The first message on the top of page 80 is from Zion Foster to the contact Favo.
Yes.
And the message reads, "I want to die." The next message is also an outgoing from this phone that says literally.
Okay.
And the third on this page is an incoming from the contact Favo. that
Well, I don't
reads,
think anyone's saying
"All
that
cause
this
you
woman
wanna
didn't have
live
problems.
on the edge."
Okay, and could you read the first message on page 81?
Yes, 81, starting at the top, is an outgoing message from this phone, and the message reads, "I'm running away."
Okay, and that's from,
From the phone belonging to Zion Foster to the contact Favo.
okay, if you could scroll or flip to page 77. If you could read the last text message on page 77.
Yes, that is an outgoing text from the phone belonging to Zion Foster. The message reads, "I'm going to kill myself."
Okay, and if you could go to page.
Hmm. Sure. But go check out Lego Law and see for yourself, everyone.
Starting on page 635, if you could read the text on that particular page.
"35.
Yes.
The first message on this page is an incoming from the
He was there.
contact listed as Favo that reads, "Before I go back to sleep."
Okay, and I apologize. I apologize, I'm sorry. Could you start with page 633, the last text message on page 633, and read, continue through to page 635?
Okay, at the bottom of page 633, the last one on this page is an outgoing message from the phone belonging to Zion Foster. The message reads, "Jaylin." Starting at the top of page 634, there is an incoming text that reads, "What's up?" Next is an outgoing text that reads, "Question." And the final one on this page is an incoming that says, "Ask." Starting at the top of 635 is another incoming message that says, "Before I go back to sleep." And the second one on page 635 is an outgoing message that says, "Oh yeah." And then the final one is another outgoing message that says, "It's AB Trina Hare."
And if you could just read the text messages on 636.
Starting at the top of 636 is an outgoing message that reads, "How do I ask if she wants it done?" The next is an incoming message. The message reads, "She said how much?" And then the final message on page 636 is another outgoing that reads, "What does she want done?"
If you could read starting on page 269.
I don't even know. Let me take a look. YouTube keeps changing it every time I check. So, funny thing is they sent me an email.
Right, on the top of page 269, would you like me
saying
to
that I
read the whole
could
page?
apply and then retract it.
Starting on page 269, the top message is an outgoing message
About $700.
that reads, YK, the X I had you drive me to. Next is another outgoing message that reads, we not supposed to be talking RN, but his uncle died. And the last one on this page is also another outgoing text that reads, and he want me to see him.
I can redirect now. Yeah, pretty close. Actually, that's really close. It's 7:49 technically. But that is as
You
of
can
May
read
9th.
the text messages that are contained on page 381.
But I can redirect. I'll redirect you guys to something because this isn't going to go all day.
And
They started late.
381, the first message is an outgoing message that reads, yeah. The second is also an outgoing message that reads, I have a stress headache. And the final message on this page is also an outgoing message that reads, and I'm upset, so I'm nauseous.
Okay, and if you could read the text message contained on page 382.
Starting at the top is an incoming message that reads, go to sleep, bro. The next is also an incoming message that says, good night. I'm going to sleep now. I hope you feel better. And the last on this page is an outgoing message that says, I used to get sad at the person I am, and now I can't even cry.
Okay, and it's from your understanding with the information.
So this woman clearly
those
had issues.
two different page numbers, 381 and 382, consisted on the same day, correct?
Correct.
Now, Sergeant, did you have an opportunity to go through and examine Ms. Foster's
Take care, Fubar.
icon count?
Not in any great detail. I did kind of do a preliminary scan. I looked through some of it, but I guess I don't follow the investigations as they continue. So I do the reviews or assist with an analysis as much as I can, but I may or may not have the details. So I kind of do a preliminary or a
Yeah, she plugs it in and hits a button.
light
That's what she
analysis, I
does.
could say.
Okay, and you didn't find any information or evidence to suggest that that particular cloud was manipulated or certain things were deleted from there, did you?
I deleted as in, so the records are returned to a search warrant. So I just, we receive what is provided from the search warrant. If you mean deleted by me, if I'm looking at it, no.
No.
But the history of it, I couldn't tell you offhand.
Okay, so nothing perked your antennas up, so to speak, as to anything being manipulated from that particular account.
I wasn't going to say anything, but you were
Not
off
that I
by one,
recall.
and that kind of counts in Lotto.
Now, when somebody views something on the web, sometimes there's information that is retrievable as far as the history, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that some of that information is stored maybe like in a cache?
It could be stored in, the traces would be stored in a cache.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that sometimes at certain points, that cache is automatically deleted. Say for instance, if somebody's memory is running low, the computer or phone would then erase previous information to allocate space to new information, correct?
Ooh.
It's possible. In the settings, each user can set up their settings
But he
to
restored his
store
phone. sir.
various information for however long they want.
Okay, and it'd be fair that by default, there's
Evidence
a
of
factory
guilty
settings
conscience.
that's already pre-programmed as far as how much information can be stored before it is then deleted to save space or make space for new information, correct?
I don't know that there's a default that will automatically do that because of the way technology works. Your default could be to delete it, but your default could also be to back up to a cloud account, or you could purchase more space. So there are different methods that could be employed to save or delete.
Okay, and as far as Mr. Brazier's phone, you don't know exactly how those settings were programmed?
I'm not sure off the top of my head now. I'm not sure.
Okay, was that part of your analysis?
Which phone?
Any phone, any and every phone.
Well, the first phone I know was limited in data, and there were events that showed a factory reset. So that was deleted. The Motorola phone, I don't remember that there were, I know that we were able to extract data from it. I don't believe there was, I don't know if there were signs of a factory reset. The iPhone from last summer, that I didn't think there were, but I would have to look at the actual device events page just to make sure that I'm correct.
Okay. And you stated
She's
the
not
second
correct.
phone, you said you don't believe that there was any signs of a factory reset. You weren't questioned on that during direct examination, right?
No,
And if there was, that would have been something that you would have at least reduced to writing, correct?
no, a specific event?
No, if there was evidence that that particular device had been factory resetted, you would have reduced that information to writing, correct?
No,
You would not have generated some type of written report that would indicate that this particular device that you were extracting had been factory reset?
no, I don't put those particulars in a written report. The extraction in its entirety is the complete report.
Okay, so to be fair, that information would be contained in a written report, whether or not you read it or if it was computer
Did he not do a
generated.
factory
It would
reset?
be in the computer generated extraction report, not something that I would author.
But you would be in possession of that report, correct?
I would be the one generating that report, so yes.
Okay, fair enough. Now, if we go back to exhibit number 35, I'm not sure if you have a copy of that.
No, are we,
Exhibit 35, we're done with
We're
that
done with
right
this
now.
one?
Yes.
He sounds like Daryl Brooks. He does, right? His voice is a little Daryl Brookie-ish.
Now, Sergeant, this is, if we can go to page 36. Now, Sergeant, this is I guess, a compiled list of some of the items that were deleted from the web search history?
correct.
Okay, and you don't know whether or not these particular items were automatically deleted such for reasons as a lack of memory, or if they were actually physically deleted by an individual. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes and no. I don't know that it would delete automatically because of lack of memory on a device. It could be a default setting to delete after a certain amount of time. That would go into play, but
But you don't know, because you don't know what the settings were in the program.
correct.
Now, is that something that you normally try to evaluate as part of your process of analyzing a particular phone? What settings there would be that could possibly delete information?
Not necessarily. I'm looking at the information contained,
Don't
Um,
care why it's
looking for
deleted.
patterns or the data, but
Okay, fair enough. Now, if you're being called to testify about certain deleted items, couldn't you foresee a question being asked is how this particular information was deleted? Was it by the system itself or by a user? That's a foreseeable question, correct?
I wouldn't foresee any questions one way or the other. I do the best I can to prepare and be able to authenticate the information, but any questions surrounding any particular chunk of data, I wouldn't be able to foresee what types of questions or why such questions would be asked.
Okay. And if we look at item number 70 and 71, that appears to be Kroger.com.
171?
170 and 171, I'm sorry.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Up here, 170, 171, Kroger.
Okay, and
Correct.
if we go all the way over to the right column, that would indicate that those particular searches were deleted?
Correct,
Okay, and that also would go for the Amazon.com?
correct.
Okay, so it'd be fair to say that there are a lot of just general sites in this particular compilation of items that were deleted, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Things, in your opinion, that had no evidentiary value to this particular case, correct? In your opinion?
I would agree.
Okay. Would you also agree that there were searches of porn in this particular compilation?
Ooh,
Yes,
Okay, and you would
Porn
agree
searches.
that none of the searches for porn sites or visits of porn sites had anything to do with a cousin in this particular search. Would agree to that, correct?
this is the Samsung,
God forbid a man
California-
looks for porn.
right? Believe this is from
Porn.
the Samsung. So yes, I would,
You would agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as far as
Yeah.
a factory reset, what steps would an individual have to take if they had Mr. Brazier's exact phone? Could you walk us through the steps?
sure. So within the settings section, there is an option to, and I don't remember the exact tab.
We don't
Might be
expect-
under
don't
the
speculate.
security tab. I can give you a general. Am I going to give every single by memory where in the settings?
It'd be more
I'm not gonna
suspicious
say I
if
won't
all
miss a
those were,
step.
well,
Okay,
these
that's
were
fair enough.
records that were
So it'd be
deleted,
fair
right?
to say that you don't know every single step it would take in order for a factory reset to be completed.
No, I know every step, but for me to recite every step from memory and not go through the phone and show you, I wouldn't trust my memory.
Okay.
If I had the phone, of course, I know the steps that would need to be taken.
So in other words, if you had the phone in front of you, you could figure it out. You could figure a factory reset out, correct?
Correct.
But as far as articulating the steps, you wouldn't be in a position to do that right now, correct?
I would not say that my memory is not going to skip a step, whether it's in a user setting or a security setting. The settings section contains a lot. And because different phones operate in different ways, I don't want to skip a step and then not be accurate.
Okay.
Any more questions?
And if we can go to 194, on page 41, I'm sorry, item 194. Is the page 190, oh, item 194.
194. Oh, sorry.
Okay, now Sergeant, could you just identify for the record what items 194 and 195 are?
Yes, these are from the webmd.com,
Okay,
both of them.
That seems on par for you, Salvador.
and you wouldn't know exactly, I guess, would it be a fair statement that exactly what was looked on WebMD, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You don't know if somebody could possibly been looking for possible reasons or ways that a person could die suddenly, correct? You wouldn't know that, right?
Not from these two searches, no.
You wouldn't know whether or not if somebody was looking if a certain drug could cause an overdose. You wouldn't know that, correct?
From these two line items, no.
Now, is it possible that a software update could trigger a reset on the phone?
I've never seen that.
You've never seen it, or is it impossible?
That a software update
A software update. If a software,
I'm sorry, if you could clarify, are we talking about software, like my Cellbrite software update?
no, not your cell, right?
Oh.
But if somebody has a particular device and it gets an over-the-air update or a plug-in update to a computer, is it possible that that particular update could trigger the phone to do a factory reset? If you know.
I've never heard of such a thing happening.
Okay, but you just wouldn't know whether or not it could, if it's possible. Would that be fair?
Correct.
Now, you also stated that there are always limitations when it comes to trying to extract and gather information. What are your biggest challenges as far as that?
Well, there's not always limitations, but there can be limitations. So some of the limitations that I was referring to are, like I said, with a brand new phone that has just been released or a new update to a security feature or the software on a phone. Our programs are always playing the catch-up game, because once they have to release the update, and then we have to try to figure out workarounds. And when I say we, I'm referring to the software companies, the Cellbrite software.
I'll be right
One of the
back.
biggest challenges that I would say we regularly experience are bypassing passcodes. So a phone, the program works where it can search for a passcode, but it's not always an immediate thing. Sometimes with a new update or a new phone, that particular make and model is not supported in my software to either find the passcode or bypass that passcode. So that can result in a delay. It is not impossible. It is just a delay until the software that I use catches up and can then work around that passcode or whatever is preventing access to that data.
Okay. Now, you spoke about passcodes. Is it possible if an individual inputs the wrong passcode on a particular device enough times, could that possibly trigger a factory reset on certain devices?
It could.
Okay. And hypothetically, I mean, you would not know when you got a phone if, say, for instance, a previous law enforcement tried to get into that phone, put the wrong passcode in, and it triggered a factory reset. You wouldn't know that, how that happened, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And when you receive a phone, you're not researching the chain of command, right? Your job is to extract the phone, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you're not asking, hey, did such and such have this phone before and what they did with the phone? That'd be a fair statement, correct?
Right, as long as it comes with the proper legal authorization to extract the phone. If I have a phone and a search warrant, then yes, that's where I begin. I'm not where that phone was prior to, I don't know.
Okay. One or two more questions. If you could look at Exhibit 74. Oh, you're on my approach? Sure. Now, you stated that this was metadata from a phone that was extracted, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, as far as, are you able to ascertain whether or not this was downloaded or was it just watched, or what can you glean from the information that you're providing with?
So in one of the columns listed additional file info, there is a source file which will show that the path that this particular, I'll just talk about line item 1. The path that this particular video was contained in was from the mobile documents, the cloud documents, which would indicate, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, so the cloud documents, which would mean that it was within a cloud account and it was a download of and then it provides a name of a person.
Okay.
I believe is a person.
Okay, and you don't know whether or not, I guess, certain websites that may have a video, if you click on that video, you don't know whether or not it would trigger an automatic download in order to watch that particular video versus being able to watch that video, say per se, on the web itself, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, I believe, but I wouldn't be able to determine that through this line item. That would require a little more digging into the path that how this appeared on the phone, that actual path that downloads to the cloud to then the documents that I'm looking at.
Okay, and did you do any additional analysis to determine whether or not that was possible or that happened in this particular incident?
I did not myself.
Okay. And just one more question in regards to if you could look in Exhibit 69, if you could go to page 86. And if you could read the text messages that are contained on page 86.
Okay, page 86, the top message.
And I apologize, I didn't mean to cut you off, I apologize. If you could start on page 84 and read through, page 86, I apologize.
Okay, the top message on page 84 is an incoming message from the contact Beibu. And this, there was an attachment that is not here to be viewed. The next is an outgoing message that reads, yeah. The last on this page is another outgoing text message that you'd like me to continue editing.
Yeah, you can, or you can read it for, you know.
Yeah, he's just
What is
yeah,
it?
read it all.
Asking you if you'd
I
like
have
me to
no,
read
I have
it
no,
word
I have
for
no
word.
problem, I have no problem.
The last on this, my other nigga just left. The top of page 85
White lady.
is another outgoing message that says, I need to do better. The second, on page 85 is an incoming message that reads, and still no pill. And then the final on page 85 is an outgoing message that says, yep. And then page 86, the first is an incoming message that reads, okay, good, now chill, TF out. Next is an outgoing message that says, no, I'm saying no pill. And then the final on page 86 is an incoming that says, welcome to parenthood.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant, no further questions.
Just-
Redirect.
Yes.
Why? Why do you need
Detective
redirect?
Markle.
Move this on.
If you look at exhibit 33, showing the device events from the defendant's first Samsung. Again, what was the date of the factory reset?
January 7th, 2022.
Okay, and I want to briefly just show you something that's been admitted already as exhibit 20.
So they're saying her phone pinged through here. You don't mind if we
I'll give you permission.
just to
Okay, cool. Last time I spoke with Jaya.
Do you see the date up here? What's that date?
January 6th, 2022.
Okay, so that would be the date before the factory reset.
Yay, got
Correct.
my Knoxville
Thank you. Nothing further.
stay booked.
No. Any questions from the jury? Seeing none, maybe you can step down.
I don't know what that was about. The mad lady did it. All right. Finally, I forgot I should have booked a hotel room for Knoxville. I finally did. So now we're good. Don't show the jury, sir. It's noon. Are they going to take a lunch break already? I'm only going to lunch, by the way, folks. Tuesdays, I cannot stream in the evening. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's 100% Salvador, as I will be in Knoxville doing something with the expert in Valhalla and everyone else. And Wendy H is joining us. That'll be fun. you're not going to be able to get the quality Zoom feed from Salvador. Actually, Salvador, hey, so Fox had pulled down the stream from yesterday. So you might want to keep an eye on that. There might not be a stream available for you if you're going like later on. I tried to find the stream from yesterday so I could play the Smexy texting, and I had to pull up ours because they didn't have it up. So just be warned. Thank you. I'm not sure how much of a vacation it's going to be. I'm going to be working while I'm down there and
Or affirm
streaming.
that the testimony
apparently.
that you are about to give before this court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I do. Thank you. Please take your seat at the witness stand.
Good afternoon.
Who is this woman?
Then you'll
now?
be asked a series of questions. Please wait till the question is fully asked before you respond. You can only have one person talking at a time. Please try to avoid a natural tendency for nonverbal answers such as shrugs of the shoulder, nods the head, as well as nods and
Yeah,
others.
That's what I'm telling you. You might want to.
If there's an objection, please stop talking until it's resolved. Please keep your voice up, and if you would, please state your name and spell.
I'll send you a link for the Zoom feed.
COURTANEESTIEG.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, could you tell the jury what you do for a living currently?
I'm an analyst with the Detroit Police Department.
And how long
She's
have you been
an
employed with the
analyst?
Detroit Police Department?
About
Is
3
she
years.
an
And what is your what's the focus of your work as an analyst?
I do forensic analysis of cellular call detail records and tower mapping.
And have you been in that role the whole 3 years that you've been with the Detroit Police Department?
No, a little over 2 years.
Okay. And what sort of training do you have in that field of forensic analysis of cell phone records and tower analysis?
I've taken training in courtroom excellence. I've taken training in
What is
Microsoft
courtroom
Excel.
excellence?
That's the format that most of my records come back in. I've taken training in online training in something called PLX, which is the mapping system that I use for the records, as well as attending multiple out-of-state seminars for training for this type of work. I've taken training with the FBI in something called CASPIS, which is a mapping system to use for cellular records, as well as over 80 hours of one-on-one training with a fellow expert in the field.
And did you happen to do some analysis in connection with this case?
Yes, I did.
And we've heard some previous testimony about a concept known as timing advance. Was your analysis centered on timing advance records or other types of records?
Other types of records.
And what types of records were you in?
Just tell them you're with me, Salvador.
Records.
And was it for a specific phone number?
Yes, it was.
And I'm just going to show you briefly what's been something that's been admitted as
Wait, why is her picture
Exhibit
froze?
71. You see that message in blue on the screen?
Yes.
Are you able to see the phone number of the records that you analyzed for this case?
Yes.
And is it that 313-925-6615 number?
Yes, it is.
Look, she's
And,
scratching her head.
So just to be clear, when you're talking about call detail records and analyzing call detail records, what do you mean by call detail records?
It's historic information from a particular target phone number. It will show information such as what type of activity is on the phone calls, text messages.
They are all about these
Sometimes other
text
things like
messages.
data session or timing advance information. It will show a date, a time, duration, and an area of where the tower is located that the phone connected to during that activity.
Okay, and based on when you do this type of analysis, based on getting just that sort of basic record of where the tower for a particular call is located, is there any way that you can analyze the possible location of the phone at the time that record was generated?
I can tell you a
Morning,
tower
Sweaty
that
Pie.
the device is utilizing during the activity that is being analyzed.
Okay. And this sort of process that you use to analyze call detail records, is that something you just came up with, or is that something that's used more widely within the law enforcement community?
It's used more widely within the law enforcement community.
And have you ever testified as an expert in the field of historical call detail record analysis and tower mapping?
Yes, I have 8 times.
Okay, and has any court ever declined to find that you're qualified to testify as an expert in that field?
No, they have not.
Your Honor, with that, I move to, all right, I'm sorry, I'll pass for more here. Thank you, Your Honor. With that, I would just ask that the witness be deemed qualified to testify as an expert in the field of historical call detail records and tower analysis.
All right, based on their education, training, and experience, I'll qualify and proceed to LRA 702.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I'm holding what's been marked as a proposed exhibit 75. It is a disc that contains a certified copy of call detail records for the number 313-925-6615. And I would just move for that to be admitted under Michigan Rule of Evidence 902 subsection 5.
Objection?
No objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. And ma'am, in terms of the records that I just discussed in this disc, are these the records that you utilize for purposes of your analysis in this case?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And did you prepare a handful of reports that summarize some of the analysis that you did in connection with your analysis of this specific number?
I did.
Okay. And I'm holding what's, we're going to walk through some, but not all of these reports. I'm holding first what's been marked as proposed exhibit 76. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
What is proposed exhibit 76?
This is a calls report for target phone number 313-925-6615.
Okay. And does the data reflected in that report come from the call detail records that you had for that number?
Yes, they do.
And does it summarize those records in some way?
Who the target was talking to, the number that the target was communicating with during that activity.
Okay, and that particular summary, is that limited to activity with a particular number?
Yes,
And what is the number that activity is limited with?
this is contact with a phone number of 313-516-7046.
Okay.
Oh, damn it.
And
That was muted. I was saying the evidence here is still bad because it doesn't point to the second degree unaliving.
like the document that you're holding in your hand that's marked as
Thanks, Justin.
proposed exhibit 76.
Yes, it would.
I move to admit proposed exhibit 76.
It's admitted.
And may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Oh,
So just looking through this briefly,
we know he
look at
called her. We know she
row
went
one
there. We
of the,
know
the
he
data.
hid
What's
the
sort of
body. We
basic
know all
information
this stuff that
we're-
you're trying to
that
prove.
We're looking at here in just each row, starting with row 1.
Show
This
me
shows the
something that
target
he
phone number that's
unalived her.
being analyzed, the date of the activity, the time of the activity, the duration, what type of activity it is, such as voice, text, or data, the call status, the direction, so whether it's ingoing or outgoing to the target number, as well as the ID, contact ID or phone number that this target is in communication with.
Okay, and again, all these rows, if we're going from page 1 all the way down to page 32, we're looking at communications with the same number, is that correct?
Yes,
And if we start, what's the first date of those
Oh,
communications?
foundation.
July
Yeah.
12th of 2020.
They do a really good job of establishing the foundation here. It's boring, but it's important to do.
Page 1. Do you see the date range or the date that's reflected here?
Yes,
Is that the same date?
yes, it is.
Okay. And then back to exhibit 76, if we go all the way down to the last date, what's the final date of the communications?
October 2nd of 2022.
Okay, and again, if we go back to exhibit 71 and go back to the last page, number 229, what's the date here?
October 2nd of 2022.
Is that the same date?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then looking at that number, that 313-516-7046 number, I just want to pull up one other exhibit really quick. Looking at looking at exhibit 36 rather. Do you see the number reflected here at the top of the page?
Yes, I do.
Is that same number?
Yes,
And so all we're looking at here basically is showing that the two numbers communicated with each other during this date range. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct.
And I'm also holding what's been marked as proposed exhibit 78. May I approach, Your Honor? What is proposed exhibit 78?
This is a calls report and tower map for the target phone number of 313-925-6615.
Okay, and does that report, is that a fair and accurate depiction of part of the analysis that you did in connection with mapping the records from that 925-6615 number?
Yes, it is.
And does that just show a tower associated with that number on a particular date?
Yes, this shows the tower that this phone utilized during a phone call.
Okay. And what's the date of that particular phone call?
This is July 11th of 2022.
Okay. And Your Honor, with that, I move to admit proposed exhibit 77. I'm sorry, is that 77?
78.
78, I'm sorry. 78.
Right.
And may I publish?
Yes.
Okay, and again, so kind of walk us through where it says row 1, what does that one row of data reflect as a general matter?
This is for target number 313-925-6615. It shows the date and the time and duration of a phone call for contact ID 313-739-3749.
Okay, and what is the little wedge that's in blue on the sort of right side of the map reflect?
That represents the tower that was utilized for this phone call.
Okay, and how about we've had some testimony about sectors associated with tower. Did you have information about a specific sector associated with that tower for purposes of this communication?
Yes. So the small dot over on the right-hand side, that represents the physical tower. And then the lines going out from that represent a call sector, which is the intended coverage area given from the provider.
Oh, we
Stating
went
that
over
is
this
most likely where the
already. We
device
had
is
a cell
located,
phone
somewhere within
expert
that
testify like day
And
2 or
what's
3.
the area of the map that's reflected with the red marker?
The red location dot represents Macomb Correctional Facility.
Okay, and is that Macomb Correctional Facility within the coverage area of this specific tower and sector?
It is a little bit outside, but seeing how we're working with radio waves when it comes to cell phones, they don't necessarily stay within the lines of the sectors. So sometimes we find that it is a little bit outside of the sector, but it is very close.
Okay. But would it be fair to say that you can't conclude with certainty that the phone was located at Macomb Correctional Facility during this particular call?
That's correct.
But it's in the area?
Yes.
I also have what's been marked as proposed exhibits. Start with proposed exhibit 80. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Is proposed exhibit 80 another report that you prepared in connection with this case?
Yes, it is.
And does that kind of show similar data that we just saw in exhibit 78, but for other communications
Yes, it does.
and other dates?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and again, would proposed exhibit 80 fairly and accurately depict some of the analysis that you did in connection with this case?
It does.
And with that, I move to admit proposed exhibit 80. And,
You've already admitted
just walking
this. It's
through this really
cumulative.
quickly.
Why is there no objection to this?
Here we have 4 rows of data, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And what's the overall date range reflected here?
This goes from July 31st of 2022 to October 3rd of 2022.
Okay, and there's 2 dates in between there, is that correct?
Yes,
And would these 4 rows reflect 4 separate communications on those 4 dates?
Who's sighing
Yes.
in the
From this
background? I'm feeling the same
313-925
way.
phone number?
yes.
Okay, and if we go to page 2, the map, again, what does this illustrate?
This illustrates the tower that the phone was utilizing during the communication.
So would it be the same tower and sector for all 4 of those communications during that time frame?
That's right.
And is this the same tower and sector from the July 11th communication that we looked at for purposes of Exhibit 78?
Yes,
Okay, so again, can you say with certainty where the phone with the 313-925 number is located during this time?
no, I cannot.
But is it within the general area of this tower that is located near Macomb Correctional Facility?
Yes,
I think it was the defense
then,
counsel sighing.
I want to look at finally proposed exhibit 81.
Maybe the judge.
May I approach?
Yes.
And is proposed exhibit 81 another report that you generated in this case?
yes, it is.
And again, does that report fairly and accurately depict part of your analysis in this case?
It does.
And does that report just depict some mapping from after this October 2nd date range that we've been discussing?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I just moved to admit, sorry, my numbers are mixing together in my head. 81, I'm sorry, thank you. To admit, proposed exhibit 81. Move it.
It's submitted. And this is another call report in Tower Med?
Yes, Your Honor. And so looking at this, got 2 rows of data that we're looking at this point.
That's right.
And what are the dates of those 2 communications?
The first one is October 6th of 2022. Second one is October 10th of 2022.
Okay, and what information, if any, do you have about the phone's location at this point in October 6th of 2022 and October 10th of 2022?
Already
It is
covered.
utilizing a tower down near Jackson, Michigan area.
Okay, so different location by that time.
Yes,
So
Oh, this
up
is
until
October.
this time frame,
Why are we worried about
are
October?
you aware of the phone being outside of the geographical area of the Macomb Correctional Facility during that sort of July through October 2nd time frame that we discussed?
not for any records that I've analyzed, no.
Okay, but then after that, the phone's located. And again, what is the city again, just for the record?
Jackson, Michigan.
Okay, and that's outside of Macomb County.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
Cross-examination?
Good morning.
Good morning.
You stated that you did your analysis based on historical call records, correct?
That's right.
And how does that differ, in your opinion, through time?
Hey, Nick and Nick Raiders, welcome
time
everyone.
When you get the records, the time records, as far as being able to
I was going to redirect to you,
determine
sir.
how far a phone is from a particular tower.
My records and my analysis cannot determine how far away a device is exactly from a tower.
Okay,
Hey, Shenny.
so it'd be fair to say that the historical call records are not as detailed as other records could be, as far as analyzing a phone proximity to a tower.
That's correct.
Now, you stated that,
Wait a minute. Nick redirects to Salvador and not me. We'll welcome all anyways.
stated, that this particular, I guess, institution was somewhat out of the range of the sector, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Now, you don't know exactly how far or how much coverage this particular tower could actually have, correct?
that's right.
Okay. One way to determine, I guess, how far or how much coverage a particular tower would have would be to do a drive test, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, you're familiar with a drive test, correct?
I am
Okay.
somewhat familiar with the drive.
Okay, in essence, a drive test, for, in layman's terms, 'cause I'm not an expert, you would have some piece of equipment where you would station yourself at the base of the tower, and you would somewhat keep driving away from the tower until there would be no coverage or signal from that particular tower to try to determine how much coverage or how far that signal would project from that tower, correct?
I'm not sure exactly the process of what it takes to complete drive testing. I've never done so myself. My department does
I
not
should. I'm
utilize
pretty
that.
sure I do.
Okay,
So I'm not exactly familiar with the step-by-step.
okay, have you ever researched drive test before, just to get a general idea of what the process contains?
I know that drive testing is the most accurate way to test current radio waves. There's no way to drive test historic records, which is what I am working.
Okay. But a drive test would give you some type of indication how far this particular tower would project for you to probably, I guess, take that information to see whether or not it's more probable than not if that particular institution falls within the range of that tower. That be fair?
I can't say for sure.
Are you familiar with a propagation map?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Never heard of that before?
No, I have not.
Now, is it possible from your understanding that a phone could use a different tower for a variety of reasons, such as if a tower was down, for instance, on a particular day?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
And you wouldn't have that type of information to know whether or not
I did
if
not have
a
redirect
tower
turned
was
on.
out in a
Now I
particular
do.
geographical location, right?
That's correct.
And you wouldn't know where if a phone changed location, if that particular phone was not used in connecting to a tower, correct?
I'm sorry, can you rephrase?
You wouldn't know if a particular phone was moved from an area, if that phone was not being used to either send a text or use the voice network on that, from that provider, correct?
That's correct.
So in essence, if a phone was say from Lansing to Grand Rapids, you wouldn't be aware of that movement, correct? And you're not able to say with certainty that this particular phone was located inside a particular facility, such as the
They're
Macomb
trying
Correctional Facility, correct?
to establish where the defendant was
And
using
had you
his cell
had time in
phone
advance records, you could possibly
and his cell phone records, but they didn't do a drive test to see if it was similar if they drove around with his phone.
phone may be located, correct?
That would be possible.
And you're not trained in time in advance records?
I do not testify to timing advance records. That's an expert, no.
Normally we see the courtroom, by the way, but the court left the exhibits up. So we're just looking at the media feed. So it's a little delayed, but we get to hear the audio, which is much better from the Zoom link.
Thank you, no further questions.
Any redirect? Any questions from the jury? Seeing none, maybe you step up.
No questions from the jury because this was all stuff that we went over on day 3. This is,
Counsel, you just approach.
yeah. Can we like speed this along? This was supposed to be a 3 or 4 day trial. We're on day 6 now with no sight in end, or no end in sight, rather. Can we take the exhibits down, please? All right, let me do this. See, you can see the courtroom window and my smiling face. Look at that handsome devil. There we go. All right, now we're back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's just about 12:30. I think that's an hour break for lunch. We'll have you back here so we can restart promptly at 1:30. Please be here so we can restart at 1:30.
All right. It started a little late today. The judge had some other matters, some sentencings to take care of this morning. So we've only gotten about an hour and a half in of testimony today on day 6 for the morning. Salvador, and this channel as well, but Salvador's going to pick this up at 4 p.m. Eastern. Going to continue with day 6. And because I will be in Tennessee with the expert Valhalla and Wendy H. and everyone else, Salvador is going to continue to stream this for the rest of the week. So what I'm going to do now is try to set up a redirect. Who should we go to? Who is streaming? Everyone's streaming Karen Reed. I was going to Nick because it was the only non-Karen Reed case. But he's redirected to me. I'm going to send you guys to Valhalla just because why not? And then what I'm going to do is, no, I don't need to hear you. What I'm going to do is Baker, because what the heck? Well, I'm going to send you to Valhalla. It's still Baker's stream. So I'll send you guys there. And then, oh. I hate when they do that. Why let the jury out in front of the freaking camera? All right. Got the jury down.
My understanding that there's been an agreement to waive Royer in the event. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, correct. Royer from Gomez, and also Angela Miller. That is correct.
Okay. I think this Milton was waived yesterday, but we're spot.
And Judge, I'm not sure would it be applicable to give a limiting instruction based upon some of the testimony that was elicited from Sergeant Marco in regards to the iCloud and the scanning.
Sure.
She's not an expert in that field at all.
Mr. Elsie, and I'll be happy to read it.
Okay. All right.
This woman was testifying to things that she had no business testifying to. I plug in a phone, I hit the button, and yet she was an expert in everything.
Recording stopped.
All right. This is the Zoom link for the courtroom, by the way, that I've been tapping into. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure things go smoothly, is I'm going to end the stream, send you guys over to Valhalla, tell them I said hi. And, oh, Jung, you missed some smexy texting from me yesterday, last evening, if you missed that. Actually, so if you guys go to day 5 afternoon, you can, these cousins are texting each other some fairly risque stuff. There was a little bit of talk about it this morning. Actually, you could just back this stream up and you could go over it all. But in the meantime, I'm going to send you guys over to Valhalla. Salvador will keep going with this trial, covering it for all of us. It's an interesting trial. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And I will see you guys. I'll be streaming again next week after I get back from Tennessee. Well, you'll see me next on Experts Friday Night Live thing. So take care.
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye